So today we're gonna do one of my favorite dishes, and people are often intimidated about doing them. We're gonna pan sear some scallops, and we're gonna have some Asian style bok choy. And scallops is interesting to me because, like I said, people are intimidated about it. And it's much like your finances. And at our firm, we think everything should be simple, such as when the market's going well, you should expect a reasonable return. And when the market's not doing well, you've got your safety net underneath it. It's that simple. And to me, scallops are that simple too. But there's a little bit of prep work you need to do at first. So I went to the store, I went to the market, and I got some really, really fresh scallops. Now scallops, they come in different sizes, and these scallops are what they call U1020s. And what that means is that there will be under 10 to 20 of them in a pound. So in essence, they're about an ounce a piece. Now, when they're really, really fresh, they've got kind of a salty smell to them, and they're just absolutely delicious. But one of the things you need to check on is they actually have feet, and they come in a shell. I mean, they don't come in a shell, but that's how they're alive in a shell. And they actually harvest them and then they take them out, and this is the product you have. But if you look on the side, there's a rough part right there. And it's the foot. And so what you do is you just peel that back and you just get rid of that. And so I left a couple there to do, and so that's not hard at all. You can absolutely tell where it is. And you just pick that off. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that they're as dry as possible. They're actually called, in the restaurant business, dry packed scallops. So then all you want to do, super simple, season them generously with salt and season them generously with a coarse ground black pepper. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get the pan really, really hot, really hot. And like I've said before, you don't want to use an olive oil, or you don't want to use a butter for this, because what happens is the butter will burn and it'll get really nasty on you. Or if you use, let's say, olive oil, it has a low smoke point. And so what that means is when you get above about 350 degrees, it'll really start to smoke, but it loses its effectiveness. So I normally go with a grapeseed oil or a canola oil. The one thing you want to do is you want to make sure you don't put too much oil in the pan, or else you're going to end up poaching the scallops. And nobody wants to do that, I promise you. When you do a scallop, you want to have a really nice hard sear. So you're going to get some nice brown color on one side, and then you'll flip it and get brown color on the other. But a couple things that you want to remember is that you never want to overcrowd the pan. And basically what overcrowding the pan means is if they're all jumbled in there, you want to make sure that you have some spacing in between them. And you want to make sure you get it as hot as it can possibly get. And then when you put them in there, you just want to set it and forget it. You don't want to ever worry about it anymore. Kind of like some investments out there. All right, so this is bok choy. Now, there's full sizes of bok choy, and it's delicious. And then there's also baby bok choy. That would be my preference. I couldn't find any today, so I went with full size bok choy. But what you want to do is down here at the bottom part, the stem part, that's the bitter part. So you really just want to take that and cut that off and just get rid of that. And so then that's going to leave some stem parts and some leafy parts. And at that point, you just want to bunch that up, and you want to dice that into bite-sized pieces. And I've already turned the pan on, and I'm getting that oil hot. The last ingredient that we're going to use today is one of my all-time favorites, and it's sesame oil. And it's toasted sesame oil, and it's just delicious. It adds a real nice zing to it, but a little goes a long way, so you don't want to go too much with this, or else it'll really overpower the dish. So this oil's getting hot, and this is going to go really, really fast now. So we're basically just cooking these down, just getting them a little bit translucent, and then it's just going to be delicious. Season, a little salt, little pepper, and then we're going to toss it a couple times. We're going to put it on a plate, and then we're just going to get ready for the fun, which is the scallops. And just like that, that's what, minute and a half? And it's done, ready to go. And then what I like to do with that is just a little drizzle of the sesame oil on top. Add just a little zing to it. All right, so the pan's nice and hot now. You'll hear a real sizzle as soon as you put it in there, and that's just the cold hitting the hot. Now, I like to use a cast iron skillet because it really retains that heat a lot. And then we got to season the other side. All right, let's check and see what the sear is like. Oh yeah, we've got a nice golden brown on the top of that. You love that. It's going to give you that really good crunch, that bite in your mouth, that just like little pillows of happiness. And on the other side, you don't have to go too long. You've already got enough of a sear, because one thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't overcook the scallop, because then it gets just really rubbery and just no good at all. So we've had some time here to get a little bit of a sear on the backside, on the underside. And then all you do is you just plate it up. And again, just a slight little drizzle of the sesame oil. And there you have it, just like I promised. Simple, pan-seared scallops with some sautéed bok choy and a little bit of toasted sesame oil. And if you have any questions, or maybe you have a suggestion on something we should cook in future episodes, email us at info@swdgroup.com. I'm Rob DeLessio, and this is A Taste of Retirement. See you next time.